Okay, so mission statements are really important. They are. You might even have them at work, in your church. You might even have one personally in your own life. And I think that's a good thing. I actually have a practice of setting out midterm goals, like 5 years at a time, and then looking back to see how far along the road I got. It's good to know what your destination is and what you're heading towards. But I think it's actually your values, stated or otherwise, that will do more to shape the kind of person you become. There's a saying that life is about the journey, not the destination. Well, if that's true, then the values that shape the steps you're going to take to get to where you want to go are going to have a huge impact on the kind of person you become. So I think it's great to have a mission statement. I think it's great to have long-term goals, but I also think it's really important to think about your values as a human being, as an individual, as an organization, or even as a church, because that's going to shape the steps that you take to get you to where you want to go. Every church and corporation and nonprofit on the planet loves to talk about their mission statements. To be honest, it can be a little overdone. Here at Commons, we tend to talk a lot about our values. Intellectually honest, spiritually passionate, Jesus at the center. And those values really do drive everything that we do here. They are the filter for where we invest our energy. And in practice, I think they are a pretty good approximation for how we operate together. Because in the end, I think it is often our values, stated or otherwise, that ends up shaping who we become. See, the thing is, the mission of the church, the mission of every church, is essentially the same thing. Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. That's Jesus, Matthew 28. And dress it up however you want. That's what we're here for. The thing is, depending on the values that surround us, how we make sense of that goal, that mission, that same mission has looked at times like conquest, or coercion, or proselytization, even the politicization of Jesus' kingdom. We're all trying to get to the same ends. There's really only one mission statement for every church, no matter how we word it, but unmoored from the person of Jesus and the values he carried to the world, mission has often ended up in very strange places throughout our shared history. Places perhaps like Scott playing Jesus in street corner evangelistic enterprises, which, by the way, I really do appreciate that honest self-disclosure there, friend. But I think that is part of what I appreciated so much from last week. This reminder that mission isn't about convincing or converting anyone. Certainly isn't about imposing ourselves on our neighbors. Mission, at least as articulated by Jesus, is very simply about noticing resurrection that around us all the time, witnessing the truth of God's goodness in the world surrounding us, and then living as if that good news was actually true. Jesus tells us at one point that because of what we have seen in resurrection, in him standing there with his disciples, that we will now become witness to resurrection in Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria to the ends of the earth, because Easter changes everything about how we see everything. So, what's our mission in the world? It's to change the world. And how does the world change? It changes when Easter becomes the lens through which we treat our neighbor. Now, maybe that seems a little cliche, a little too easy. Is that really enough? I mean, aren't we going to need an altar call at some point just to seal the deal? But maybe, I would argue, that even this community here is proof itself that together, our witness is far more powerful than we often imagine. And that the grace of God can find its way into people's lives gently, even unexpectedly, whenever the person of Jesus sits at the center of how we shape our lives. So at Commons, we might say that the Creator God is at work to heal and remake the whole world through Jesus, and our mission is to join with God in the renewal of all things.